Hi, I'm Laura Ascione. I'm the editorial director of eSchool News.
Hi, I'm Adam Lee, Vice President of Sales for Linewize.
And we're here at ISTE, and Adam's going to tell us a little bit about Linewize.
Yeah, thanks so much for stopping by, Laura. We're so excited. Linewize is a student safety-focused company that provides web filtering, classroom management, as well as deep application analytics. And our suite of products is designed to surround the student and also break down the silos that have historically existed within districts, right? A couple of years ago, I've been in IT support for about 13 years now. It used to be the IT director was behind a closed door and really was hard and fast with what's going to be allowed and what's not. In today's world, with digital learning taking really over and everything going digital, it's all about breaking down those boundaries, those silos, if you will, and getting engagement for your parents, your teachers, and all administrators. It takes a village to really get a student across the line, and we want to help facilitate that.
That's fantastic. Well, you just mentioned that students live very digital lives. That's at school, that's at home, it's kind of all around us. Do you want to take us through some of the solutions, products, and tools that you have to help districts navigate students through that digital life?
Yeah, you said it best, right? Students literally have a device at the hip. They're always on a device. So the first foundational product is our web filter. It's designed to block more of the bad and allow the good, right? That's the first line of defense. So the second category of product, or our second product, is Classwize. And that's all about supporting learning in the classroom. And it gives teachers the ability to take control of what students are doing digitally on those devices that are, of course, so ingrained in their everyday. The idea there also is to help give teachers more autonomy. The category of product is called classroom management, but we really like to think of it more as classroom enablement, letting teachers make decisions, those just-in-time decisions, what's going to be allowed in their classroom and what isn't, to really guide their students digitally. Then taking a step back, the next category of product, the next product we offer is Linewize Monitor. And that is really all about identifying digital risks before they become real-life events. And to do that without adding a huge amount of time and tasks to overstretched IT departments and safety teams, we have a team of human moderators that work in conjunction with our AI. And what it does is it identifies students who are doing things digitally that are risky or dangerous. It'll take a screenshot, it'll go to our human team for review. We go through those false positives. Think of Linewize Monitor as an extension of your safety team at the district, and we alert district contacts around the clock if there's a student at digital risk.
It's important to have those human eyes on things like this, I think, especially when something can be very critical and you want to get it in front of the district.
Couldn't agree more. And everywhere you look at ISTE, I think this is obviously the year of AI.
Absolutely.
AI does amazing things, and we're literally living it. There's robots and great things happening all around us. But when it comes to something like a student at risk for self-harm, you want that second layer, and there's no replacing a human, at least yet.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of this all goes back to treading that line between access and security. And like you said, giving teachers the ability to kind of judge, what do I want my students to have access to,
right,
and where do I want to guide them to? Also, what do I want to guide them away from?
Yeah, such a good segue, because web filtering hasn't changed a lot in the last 20 years. It's really all about, identifying or categorizing a website and then allowing or blocking it based on rules that you've created. But when you talk to a young student, a student who's 8, 9 years old, and you say, www or HTTPS, they look at you kind of sideways. They don't know what you're talking about. That's the old internet. And if you ask them, now they've grown up in an app-based world, and the way the internet's evolved, it's all about not just blocking bad URLs. That's a very heavy-handed way of filtering. What we're doing is, with our real-time content-aware filtering, we can actually blur bad video and images on the fly dynamically, not dependent on where they're coming from. So this helps with things like, Google searches for words with double meanings, people with too much time on their hands that embedded a bad portion of something inside of a safe video that gets through, or even AI. Students are using AI to create bad content to bully each other, and we can actually blur it before it renders. Game-changing technology.
That's fantastic. Wow. Do you want to take us through a little more of what you guys have at the booth?
Yeah, let's take a quick tour.
Sure.
So we're talking here about the real-time content-aware filtering, and I don't know if it'll pick up on the camera, but you can see it's a good example of how we actually blur images as they render, on a student's screen. So that is again, really game-changing. There's so many use cases for it. And the idea is we want to allow more of the good and just get rid of the bad. They're locally on the machine. Let let the actual machine or the endpoint agent on that machine make those decisions instead of relying, just on the filter. But if we take a step back over this way, we've got a broad suite of products, and we're taking the grand tour here. If you look at this pillar here, it summarizes and highlights our ecosystem. It's comprised of hybrid web filtering. We're the only solution, or one of the only solutions rather, that still offers a hybrid appliance approach to filtering. We offer the student threat detection, classroom management, edtech app analytics, as well as our student well-being analytics, and then we tie it all together with our parental control app. And we talked a little bit about breaking down those silos.
Yes.
Not only do we want to empower teachers and curriculum folks and safety folks, we want to empower mom and dad. They should have a seat at the table, right? And it's great when a district provides that student with that device. Thank you for the Chromebook, but I ought to be able to say when they use it at home, right?
Absolutely.
I don't want them using YouTube at 3 in the morning. We give them all those controls as well.
Been there, YouTube, 3 in the morning.
We've all gone down the rabbit hole, right? But I think what we're most excited about is edtech app analytics.
Sure.
And if we come over here to this side of the booth, we'll talk a bit more about it. So these are some questions that we're asking edtech leaders, right? How many unapproved edtech tools are being used in your district? How are you keeping track of all the different apps? When you walk the floor of ISTE, there's a lot of really cool, exciting things, and there's teachers here, and they're going to be super excited to come back to their district, and they're going to want to use all these apps. But when you're a small team, as most technology teams are, how do you go through and vet that every one of these applications are compliant from a cybersecurity and a data protection standpoint? How do you make sure, if you do decide to invest in these apps, that you're getting the return on learning and the return on investment? It's very murky, right? So edtech analytics really gives you some deep insights into all the usage of all the applications in your district and helps you prioritize spend during times of budget constraints, and also ensures that all the apps that are being used are safe and compliant. So important.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Adam.
You're so welcome.